Every day, without giving it much thought, we make countless choices. We decide where to go, what to say, what to buy, who to trust, and which path to follow. Around us, life unfolds with quiet confidence. People make plans, change their minds, seize opportunities, avoid dangers, and build their lives, all without questioning the act of choosing itself. It feels so natural that we rarely stop to examine it. Yet beneath every ordinary decision lies an extraordinary mystery. Is every choice truly our own, or is the feeling of choosing only part of a deeper story? Could our decisions have unfolded differently, or was each one already shaped by forces we never noticed? That simple question is easy to ignore, but almost impossible to forget once it takes hold. To answer it, we must look beyond habit, beyond intuition, and beyond appearances. We must examine one of the oldest and most profound questions ever asked: do we truly have free will? We rarely stop to think about the language we use every day. We speak of choosing, deciding, preferring, and changing our minds as though these experiences were the most natural things in the world. The assumption is so familiar that it almost disappears from view. Every ordinary decision carries the same quiet certainty. Whether choosing a book, a meal, or a direction to walk, the experience feels personal. We don't merely witness the choice, we feel that we are its author. Yet something curious happens here. Almost nobody asks why choosing feels this way. We accept the experience without examining it, as though its meaning were completely obvious. But what if we slow the moment down? Before every action lies a brief instant that usually escapes our attention. Is that where freedom lives? Or has the decision already been shaped before we become aware of it? Every choice unfolds within a world already influencing us. Conversations, memories, advertisements, habits, expectations, even the smell of fresh bread or the music drifting through the street quietly become part of the environment in which decisions are made. If so many influences are already at work before we act, where exactly does free will begin? It is a simple question, yet once it is asked, the ordinary certainty of everyday choice no longer seems quite so simple. And that is where our investigation truly begins. Every decision we make feels as though it begins with us. We weigh possibilities, imagine consequences, and finally choose one path while leaving countless others unexplored. Yet many thinkers have wondered whether this feeling of freedom reflects reality or merely our experience from within. If every event has a cause, then our choices may also arise from causes stretching far beyond our awareness, shaped by our biology, our upbringing, our memories, and every experience that has formed us. Even the smallest influences, a forgotten conversation, a childhood fear, or a chance encounter, may quietly contribute to the decisions we believe are entirely our own. But if our actions are completely determined by what came before, what becomes of responsibility, creativity, or moral praise and blame? Before accepting either conclusion, we must first understand the powerful idea that every event may belong to an unbroken chain of causes, because the answer to that question will shape everything that follows. Determinism begins with a remarkably simple claim: every event has a cause sufficient to produce it. Nothing appears without explanation, and nothing happens independently of everything that came before. If this principle applies not only to falling stones and orbiting planets but also to human thought, then every belief, intention, and decision would emerge from an unbroken chain reaching back through our lives and beyond them. According to this view, if the universe could somehow be returned to exactly the same state, with every condition perfectly identical, the same decision would always follow, because nothing within the chain would have changed. To many philosophers and scientists, determinism is not a denial of reason but an extension of the ordinary expectation that events have understandable causes. Yet if every choice is already the inevitable outcome of earlier events, can we still meaningfully say that we could have chosen otherwise? Before answering that question, we must first examine how persuasive the case for determinism truly is. If determinism is true, the consequences reach far beyond science. They challenge one of our deepest assumptions about ourselves. We normally believe that, faced with the same situation, we could have chosen differently. We praise courage, condemn cruelty, reward honesty, and hold one another responsible because we assume genuine alternatives were available. But if every decision was already fixed by an unbroken chain of causes, then our sense of possibility may exist only from the inside. The person who acted generously could never have acted selfishly, and the person who committed a terrible crime could never have done otherwise. That conclusion strikes many people as deeply unsettling, because it seems to weaken responsibility, justice, and even the meaning of personal achievement. Yet before we reject determinism for that reason alone, we must ask an even more difficult question. Does our discomfort prove that the argument is false, or does it simply reveal how difficult the truth might be to accept? Compatibilism offers a surprising response to the problem. Rather than denying determinism, it argues that free will and determinism may not be enemies at all. According to this view, we act freely whenever our actions flow from our own character, values, and reasons, even if those very qualities were themselves shaped by earlier causes. A person who chooses honestly because honesty reflects who they are is considered free, while someone acting under coercion or overwhelming compulsion is not. In this sense, freedom is not the absence of causes but the ability to act according to one's own motives without external force. Many philosophers believe this preserves both personal responsibility and the scientific picture of an orderly universe. Yet critics remain unconvinced. If our character was itself determined long before we acted, have we truly rescued free will, or have we merely changed its definition? Others reject compatibilism entirely. They argue that genuine freedom requires real alternatives. At certain moments, they claim, a person truly could choose differently, even if every previous event remained exactly the same. This view, often called libertarian free will, insists that human beings possess a unique power of agency that cannot be reduced to physical causes alone. Supporters believe this preserves moral responsibility in its strongest sense, because our choices are not simply the inevitable outcome of prior events. Yet the position raises difficult questions of its own. If a decision is not determined by earlier causes, what explains why one choice occurs instead of another? Does introducing indeterminacy create genuine freedom, or does it merely replace necessity with chance? Once again, the investigation reveals that every proposed solution carries its own challenges. Modern science has entered the discussion with powerful new tools. Neuroscientists can observe patterns of brain activity that sometimes appear moments before a person becomes consciously aware of making a decision. Psychologists have shown how memory, emotion, social influence, and unconscious processes quietly shape our judgments without our noticing. Genetics, development, and environment all contribute to the people we become. These discoveries suggest that much of what we experience as deliberate choice may depend upon processes unfolding beneath conscious awareness. Yet science alone cannot answer the philosophical question. Discovering how decisions are formed does not automatically tell us what freedom itself means. The laboratory can describe mechanisms, but whether those mechanisms eliminate free will remains a matter of interpretation as much as observation. For many people, the debate is not merely theoretical. Our beliefs about free will influence how we educate children, punish crime, encourage personal responsibility, forgive mistakes, and understand ourselves. A society convinced that every action is unavoidable may approach justice differently from one that believes individuals always possess complete freedom. Even our daily relationships depend upon assumptions about choice, intention, and accountability. The answers we give shape law, politics, medicine, education, and personal character. Whether we realize it or not, every society carries an implicit philosophy of human freedom. The question is not whether these ideas affect our lives, but whether we have examined them carefully enough to understand the assumptions beneath them. Perhaps the greatest lesson of this investigation is not that philosophy has solved the problem, but that it has revealed its remarkable depth. Our experience tells us that we choose. Science reveals countless influences acting beneath awareness. Determinism offers logical consistency. Libertarian freedom preserves genuine alternatives. Compatibilism attempts to reconcile both. Each perspective captures something important, yet none commands universal agreement. Rather than forcing certainty where none exists, philosophy invites us to examine our assumptions with greater honesty and humility. Sometimes the most valuable discoveries are not final answers, but better questions that continue to sharpen our understanding of ourselves. Every day we make decisions that shape our lives, often without pausing to ask what choosing really means. The journey through free will has taken us from ordinary experience to science, from ancient philosophy to modern debate, and from confident assumptions to deeper uncertainty. Along the way, we have discovered that the question is not simply whether free will exists, but what we mean when we claim to be free. Perhaps genuine wisdom begins not by declaring victory for one side, but by recognizing the complexity of the human condition. The examined life is not the search for easy answers. It is the willingness to continue asking difficult questions with curiosity, humility, and intellectual courage. And as long as those questions remain open, the investigation continues.